sip of my coffee. Okay. So, our story begins in 4000 BCE, when early Sumerian writings spoke about the euphoric effects of poppy seeds. At that time, there wasn't really much talk about the brain having any involvement in behavior. In 2500 BC, trepanation became a common surgical practice, which is when they bore holes in the skull, and it's thought to have been used to relieve neurological disorders such as epilepsy, as well as a spiritual practice for ritual. In 1700 BCE, on Egyptian papyrus, which is, I believe, a plant that they flattened out to use as paper, they gave a careful description of the brain, and it's kind of interesting. I've always found this really interesting, that the Egyptians really didn't think highly of the brain as an organ or as even an important part of the body. They actually scooped it out and threw it away. And, that show Ancient Aliens. Alright, so if these higher beings that are capable of getting to our planet from other galaxies, maybe even other, universes, multiverse theory, if they have the capability of traveling, across the universe, why wouldn't they know that the brain is an integral part of the human body? So, that's just my argument. People say they're like, oh, the pyramids. I'm like, come on, get real. They were just really evolved in terms of critical thinking and problem solving. And they, were really good at, basically using slave labor with the use of fear in the gods such as Ra. I love ancient Egypt. It is so interesting. I've seen so many documentaries and read so many books, and it boggles my mind that Cleopatra lived closer, her existence is closer to 9/11 and the Holocaust than it is to the construction of the Pyramid of Giza, or the Great Pyramids. And just in terms of just how they lived, it's pretty interesting that they would, go to such lengths to preserve with mummification, just to, I don't know, they were bored, I'm guessing. Bored and naive. So, I also find it very interesting that humans feel the need to just disrespect to the point of digging up these people whose lives revolved around living, becoming, bringing all of their belongings and their bodies into the afterlife. see, like, they have really wide hips and, you know, sort of breasts. It's interesting. So King Tut was kind of deformed, and he was pigeon-footed, and apparently the theory is that he must have died on a chariot ride because he was, you know, deformed, and he's trying to ride these chariots, and, you know, he's just not capable, and he died that way. In 450 BCE, early Greeks began to recognize the brain as a seat of human sensation. In 387 BCE, the Greek philosopher Plato teaches at Athens, and he believes the brain is the seat of all mental processes. Plato was a good dude. He was a good dude. If it wasn't for Plato, I don't think we would be where we are now. I think he was very wise and beyond his years, and also had no real fear, and was extremely passionate about the forward of human thought. If you know the story of Socrates and how Plato was involved in that. I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. I need to just go over neuroscience. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. But it's hard because I'm really into ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, so I'll just keep going. But anyway, Plato was the first to really mention that the brain was involved in mental processes. I sort of don't really know much about why he came to that conclusion, so I have to really look into that. We never really talked about that. Okay. So, ancient Greece was a time of critical thought, and Plato was the first to say that the brain is involved in all mental processes. It is the core of all mental processes. And that was around the time of 387 BC. And then around 335 BC, Aristotle came out of the woodwork and was like, no. The heart is the superior organ, and the brain is just a radiator of sorts that keeps the body from overheating. And so that's how that went, and we all know who's right. Go Plato. Not saying Aristotle wasn't a cool dude, but he didn't know much about biology or human anatomy. So, okay. So, let's move on to AD. So, let's move ahead about, I'd say, 700 years from ancient Greece. Vesalius came first. Andreas Vesalius. He published the first book that had a detailed drawings of the human brain. And after that, René Descartes. I think it's René Descartes. But my brain wants me to say Descartes, because I had a philosophy teacher that said it that way, and I think it's René Descartes. Correct me if I'm wrong. it's kind of a mind opening experience where you are taken away from your conscious mind and sort of see things from a different perspective outside of your conscious mind. So the idea that the brain is a control center and that through the pineal gland there's an existential variable, it's not that far-fetched, but you gotta think really progressively here. I find that interesting. So, in 1664, Thomas Willis published the first brain atlas, and he located parts of the brain as separate modules. So, in 1664, we had our first book with brain images that were separated into different areas. Let's fast forward to 1774. Franz Anton Mesmer introduced animal magnetism, which is later called hypnosis. 1791, Luigi Galvani, an Italian physicist, discovers the electrical basis of nervous activity by making frogs' legs twitch. In 1848, the most famous name in modern neurology, Phineas Gage, has his brain pierced by an iron rod, and his whole world changes afterward. And this sparked a new age of understanding the brain and its relationship with behavior and bodily function. language disorder after brain damage, but it's primarily some AIDS brain disorder after brain damage, or language disorder after brain damage. So, in 1889, Santiago Ramon y Cajal proposes that nerve cells are independent elements and the basic units of the brain in the neuron doctrine, and he won the Nobel Prize in 1906. We are now in the 20th century, the revolution of neuroscience, and we'll start with 1900. Sigmund Freud abandons an early career in neurology to study psychodynamics. The success of Freudian psychoanalysis eclipsed physiological psychiatry for half a century. People still believe in Freudian theories today, and those people need to update themselves. Don't tell anyone I said that. In 1906, Alzheimer describes presenile degeneration. As well, in 1906, Ramon y Cajal describes how nerve cells communicate, specifically in the rodent hippocampus. In 1909, Corbinian-Brodmann describes 52 discrete cortical brain areas that are based on neural structure. These areas are still used today. I know, I had to memorize them. It was terrible. In 1914, British physiologist Henry Hallandale isolates acetylcholine, which was the first of the neurotransmitters. He won the Nobel Prize in 1936. In 1919, the Irish neurologist Gordon Morgan Holmes localizes vision to the striate cortex, which is primarily known as the primary visual cortex. And that is in the occipital lobe, the back of your brain. In 1924, the first electroencephalogram is produced by Hans Berger, also known as the EEG. In 1934, Portuguese neurologist Icaz Moniz carries out the first leucotomy, which is well known as lobotomy. He also invented angiography, one of the first techniques which allowed scientists to make images of the brain. In 1953, Brenda Milner describes patient HM, who suffers memory loss after hippocampal surgery. with mirror neurons from other species and other humans. So they've been pretty over-exaggerated in the field and have been under quite debate. Their supposed involvement in empathy with other species. Feeling other people's, just perceiving what other people are feeling and experiencing. But there's a lot of debate about it. So I can't say for sure, and no one can say for sure because you don't know. That's one thing with neuroscience. Never say you know because we're not sure. We're still, we don't even really know what we're talking about. We just have ideas. The scientific method brought us to some conclusions, but nothing is finite. In 2009, exploration